In the heart of Florence, a city that breathes history into its very stones, stands a palace of art. Each year, millions of people from every corner of the globe are drawn here. They walk through the grand doors of the Uffizi Gallery, stepping out of the bright Tuscan sun and into the cool, hallowed halls of the past. They arrive with guidebooks in hand, their minds filled with names like Botticelli and Leonardo. They come expecting to see the history they've read about. They are looking for the solemn, gilded portraits of old saints, the frozen chaos of ancient battles, and serene landscapes from a world long lost to time. But as they move from one magnificent hall to the next, something else begins to emerge. It's not in the guidebooks. It's a quiet observation that grows into a shared curiosity, a new and simple question. It is a question that hangs in the hushed air, passed in soft whispers from one visitor to another, a silent acknowledgement shared between strangers. Why is so much of the art they see, the heroes, the goddesses, the saints themselves, completely unashamedly nude? This is the first small mystery of the Uffizi. It is not a loud or scandalous one. It is not a challenge to the art's greatness. Rather, it is a quiet curiosity that settles in the mind, growing with each step as you walk from one magnificent room to the next. The gallery itself feels ancient and calm, a timeless space designed for contemplation. And it is in this quiet that the question truly takes root, inviting us to look closer and to understand. Imagine you are there now, stepping out of the bustling Uffizi corridor and into a space that feels different, quieter. You are standing in the Botticelli room. The air is still, filled only with a low, reverent hum and the soft shuffle of feet on polished floors. It's a shared silence, an unspoken agreement among strangers to honor the moment. And there, commanding the far wall, is the birth of Venus. It seems to radiate its own light, pulling every eye in the room towards it. A crowd is gathered, a mix of faces from all over the world, each person bringing their own story into the presence of this one. A young couple leans in close, their heads almost touching as one of them points to the intricate cascade of Venus's hair, sharing a private discovery. Nearby, a solo traveler, guidebook held loosely in one hand, simply stares, lost in a world of their own. An older gentleman stands back from the crowd, arms crossed, his expression thoughtful. He seems to be seeing more than just a painting. He is seeing a moment captured from a dream, a connection across 5 centuries. The reactions are as varied as the people themselves, yet they are all part of a silent, respectful etiquette. No flash photography. Voices are whispers. There's a shared understanding that this is a fragile space, a sanctuary for beauty. A group of students sits on a nearby bench, notebooks open on their laps, pencils scratching furiously as they try to capture a line, a curve, a feeling. Their professor is speaking, not lecturing, but sharing a story, weaving a narrative that brings the canvas to life. And in their focused attention, you see the next generation of guardians, artists, and admirers ready to carry the story forward. So why did they do it? Why did the Renaissance give us this explosion of nudity in art? The answer doesn't lie in a rebellion, but in a rediscovery, a profound intellectual and artistic reawakening. The Renaissance, which literally means rebirth, was a time when the people of Italy, particularly in thriving city-states like Florence, fell completely in love with the ancient world. It was a deliberate turning away from the immediate past and a passionate embrace of a distant, golden age. They began to uncover the lost ideas of classical Greece and Rome, not just as historical curiosities, but as living blueprints for a new era. This was the birth of humanism, a philosophy that celebrated human potential, reason, and individual dignity. They eagerly read the old books, translating the philosophies of Plato and the epic poems of Homer. These texts revealed a world where humanity was not just a flawed vessel for the soul, but a subject worthy of celebration in its own right. And crucially, they studied the old statues that were being unearthed from the ground, often Roman copies of long-lost Greek originals. These were not just pieces of stone, they were whispers from a forgotten golden age. They spoke of the Greek gymnasium, where the athletic, nude body was a symbol of civic virtue and democratic ideals. Renaissance artists became obsessed. In these sculptures, they discovered the principle of contrapposto, the gentle S-shaped curve of the body that made a figure seem relaxed, alive, and full of potential movement. It was a revolution in stone. This rediscovery fueled a new scientific curiosity. Artists' workshops became laboratories for anatomical study, as they sought to understand the mechanics of the human form, not just to copy the ancients, but to surpass them. The ancient Greeks and Romans had celebrated the human body, seeing it as the peak of natural perfection. For the Renaissance artist, to depict the body with truth and beauty was to connect with the highest ideals of the past and to forge a bold new vision for the future. But this is not the entire story. We must remember that Renaissance Italy was a place of deep and powerful Christian faith. The Catholic Church was the single most important institution in people's lives. Its influence was everywhere, from the grandest cathedral to the humblest home. This creates another layer to our mystery. How did this world of saints coexist with an art form that so openly celebrated the naked human body? The answer is that the relationship between religion and art was often a very complicated conversation. Why did so much of this happen in Florence? What was it about this one city that made it the epicenter of the Renaissance? The answer is not just about art. It is about money power and a very human spirit of competition and civic pride. They competed with one another to commission the most beautiful buildings, the most moving altarpieces. Let us return to the gallery. We have talked about history, religion, money. But there is another question we must ask. Why do we, today, stare a little longer at a nude painting? Beyond the history, there is a simple, human reason. Our minds are wired to be interested in other humans. From birth, we learn to read faces, to understand body language. These masterpieces have survived for over 500 years. They have endured wars, floods, the simple, slow decay of time. That they are here for us to see is not an accident. It is the result of a long and dedicated tradition of protection and care. In the end, after walking these long halls, the tourist's quiet question finds its answer. And the answer is not one single thing. It is layered, like the translucent glazes of paint on a master's canvas. See the profound beauty in our shared humanity, a truth worth painting, a truth worth protecting, worth